Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another live episode of Let's Uncork with Lovely Gupta. Hello, my Insta family. Namaste. Good evening. Hello, Ji. Thank you so much for joining us live. And let some more people join in so that we can invite our today's guest. Sir, very much welcome to Let's Uncork with Lovely Gupta. After chasing you for a year or so, I've got finally.
Yeah, thank you for having me on your podcast.
Yes, sir. Sir, I was just searching about you. Very hard to find anything negative, to be very, very honest. There was nothing negative, only good points, everything. In fact, I received a hell lot of comments, DMs about you, that you are one of the finest mentors, you are the one of the finest human beings. So massive, huge congratulations on that to you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, thanks to all of my candidates, people who give auditions to me. No, it's all about them. Okay. So yeah, they make me what I am. So it's kudos to them.
Sir, you had a great academic background. You did your studies from Jadavpur University and then you head to IIM Bangalore. Sir, how did you land in this field?
Okay. Yeah, you put me on a spot. Okay. So see, I received my first computer at the age of 5. Okay.
Okay.
That was my birthday. Okay, so on my 5th birthday, I received a computer. And like back in the day, the computers used to be that big, the desktops and all, okay. But even I don't think like you will even manage to understand the next things I'm going to say. Like we used to use commands like DOS commands and all. Okay, so the moment you put those
MS-DOS.
commands in, yes, MS DOS and all. Okay, so with those we used to get results like the moment you put a command and then get something. So it's pretty much like nowadays if you buy a computer, it's mainly everything very smart, right? But on those days those things were not smart, and those are little closer to coding, those are little closer to building an app and something. So the moment like you're putting a command or something, so that intrigued me, and I received it at the age of 5. So from then onwards, and I after that like I fell in love with computer. Okay, so I thought about okay how to make a career in that. And coming from a business family, my father didn't want me to like pursue like this is I think a myth in Indian culture that my father didn't want me to become in go into computer science or pursuing computer science or become an engineer. My father didn't want it because coming from business family, he always wanted me to take care of the business itself, right? So, but yes, that was my passion. So I told my father, okay, if nothing goes well, then I will be taking care of the family business. But I wanted to pursue my computer science background. Okay. So then, yeah, I cracked WBJ. I got into Jadavpur University, completed my BTech in computer science. Okay. And I saw my seniors getting into corporate field MNCs and they were working so hard. But the moment I completed my BTech in computer science, I thought this is okay. My passion's completed now, and I understood like it's a very monotonous thing to do coding
9 to
for a
5
company.
job.
Yes, 9 to 5 job plus. Yes, like I mentioned, like because coming from a business family, I had this entrepreneurship mindset that I wanted to make something of my own. I didn't want to invest my entire energy, heart and soul for another company. So that was my thing. So my father again told like, okay, why don't we join my business? Okay. And I thought, okay, I will be joining your business. But before that, I want to learn business because my father had been running business without knowing about much about business. Okay. But he was very successful because like, it's a hereditary thing and he has got it from his father and like, and so on. So then I, attempted CAT examination, got into IIM Bangalore. Okay, I have done my MBA in finance from there. Okay. In the meanwhile, if I talk, I don't. We'll manage to cover everything or not because that was a like long story. Okay. So what
Sir,
happened? Like
So sorry to interrupt you, but I would like you to talk about it because people
Okay.
watching us, listening to this video podcast, they will actually get inspired that we can actually switch fields and get successful.
Okay, so what happened, like, in our last year, okay, this is a 2 years course, MBA. Okay, so in my last year, our college sent us to different MNC companies, corporates, okay, to take care of their finance and like accounts and everything. Okay, so that's called our internship. Okay, so I went to, I'm not naming the company. So I went to that company and the partner, the one, there were like, two, three partners out there in the business. And one of the partners actually came from USA. He was just there, like, monitoring the interns and all. And I remember one partner always used to have his hands in his pocket. Okay, always. Okay. And we were like, used to like gossip about it. I don't know why. What's the reason about it? Okay. So I used to do that every single day after our work, whatever internship work we are doing, okay, that's not a lot, but we are doing something. And then I used to like talk with people, and I used to train a few other like juniors in that particular spectrum, okay. And he has observed me. So I think that was 15-20 days into my internship. He came into me and he said, Suman, I will show my hand, but before that, let me tell you something. In 2-3 months' time, either you will come to me and say that you are quitting, or I will go to you and say that you are fired. Okay. So I said, like, I got shocked. I said, why? Because I'm doing not bad. I was, by that time, I was kind of like a magician, vanishing taxes for different companies and different people, right? So I was not that bad in the job. So when he said, like, he will be firing me or I will be quitting, so I was like kind of like intrigued. So he said, and actually before saying something, he actually took his hand out of the pocket, and it was really bad arthritis.
Oh,
And he said, Suman, I wanted to be a piano player. Okay.
okay.
But due to this, I can never play piano. Okay. I can see your potential into different fields, but not in finance. So if you want to pursue your dreams, then do something else. Because you have got the gift of gab. You can use it in any other field, not in finance. Finance is, like it's very monotonous, right? So that's what he said. Like, that's something made me think something else. And the next question from my side to him was, can you tell the same to my parents? Okay. So he actually came to my house, told my parents that, okay, this is all it is. And because he was very successful in his field, the validation my parents and the family required, they got it from him. And I remember initially I thought, like, they wouldn't be agreeing me pursuing something apart from either my family business or the finance field. But then my father told me one thing which I still remember, that son, from today onwards, you owe me one thing. You jump as high as possible, and if you fall, I will always be your net. So yeah, so that was the
That
thing. And
was
then
such a
yeah, yeah,
that was a powerful shield for you.
yeah, absolutely. Like, I tested the theory many times. Okay, I failed many times. In this industry, like, I was completely outsider. Okay, I worked in many production houses before opening my own company. So I failed many times. I worked as a casting coordinator. I worked as a junior assistant. I worked as many ways to help a production house. And then only in 2019, I opened my own company, which is Suman Sarkar Casting Company, which is private limited right now. We have a website as well, sscd.in. So yeah, so that's like the backstory of it. Yeah.
Sir, working for the big banners and now working with the big banners, there is a huge difference.
Yes, absolutely. It has its perks as well, but at the same time, it's very challenging because the moment that much of budget is placed into the project, then They are very stringent about the deadline. They are very stringent about finding the exact character, exact match. So yeah, challenges are there. But yes, if you can navigate into the scheme of things, then it's easy as well. At the same time, the rewards are huge. The upsides are huge. Because when you see your candidates working in big projects, okay, that's the fulfillment which you get out of that. That's huge. So yeah, parks there. So everything has pros and cons. I mean, even for working for a small company, you the budgets are very limited. Okay, so within that limit, you require to work. Because when we go for choosing a candidate, okay, and we are taking auditions, it has its own cost, like in traveling,
Right.
expenditure, setting everything. So everything has its cost. The moment you are working for a smaller production house, then it has its own pros and cons. The pros,
Right.
obviously, like they are not that stringent about the deadline. They are not stringent about finding the exact match. But yes, the budget's very limited, so you have to work within that budget. The moment you work for a big company, big production house, they have huge budget. They will be providing you every single thing you require to get the right candidate. But at the same time, then you don't have that leeway to, okay, if it's something's not matching, at least you are managing to get that particular candidate. They are very particular, they are stickler about finding the exact artist and exact requirement. If that particular artist is managing to match, then only they're going to hire them. So yeah, both things are there, but yes, I think you got the drift.
Sir, working for such big banners, it requires a huge lot of money at the same time. Sir, how that creates a pressure on you and on your team, and how do you cooperate? Like, how do you cope up when something doesn't go along the way? Like you said a little while back, like in 2019 you opened your company, and then in 2020 COVID hit back.
Yes.
So, what do you think? Like, what is the upscale of this industry, or what is the wave of this industry? Because there is a huge rise, and then again there is a huge steep.
Yes. See, COVID affected the industry huge time, like big time. It has affected the industry for those 2 years. Okay, but after that, what I have found that because of COVID, people were like, theater releases were completely closed, right? Nobody was releasing on theaters because theaters were actually closed, so nobody can actually
Hmm.
do that. So the the boom of OTT, if you see, like that happened after 2022. Sorry,
Exactly.
2020. So
Exactly.
the moment the boom happened in OTT, casting directors like us actually got a lease of life, which wasn't there previously. Okay. So previously it was only mainly commercial movies in India, because this OTT culture is there in Hollywood, and it has been there in Hollywood for last 10, 15 years. Okay. But the moment you like think about India, you will find even previously, like, and even more than 10, 15 years, like in Hollywood, this OTT culture was there. Okay, so Netflix is primarily a US company, right? Then came Sacred Games in India, and I think people who didn't watch Game of Thrones, Sacred Games was one web series which Indian people, which like captivated the imagination of the nation. Now that's something which is a big thing, you know, because the moment you think about OTT, the boom of OTT platforms, previously before that it was only Netflix. The moment the COVID happened and people were not managing to get out of the house, can you imagine, like, a movie like Pushpa released on OTT Prime videos? Can you imagine that in today's year, like, in 2024, it's going to be the biggest theater release ever. I think it will be the biggest hit in India. But you can just think about Allu Arjun's movie Pushpa got released in Amazon Prime. It didn't get any theater release. So that was that big. The OTT was booming and it's still booming. And that's the reason, like, there are so many small production houses. Nowadays you will find so many originals, like Netflix original, Prime Videos originals, Hotstar originals, every Z5 originals. Okay. Even MX Player, like, in MX Player, like, you cannot, generally they don't invest that much into projects, but if you watch Ashram of Bobby Deol, they have invested hugely in that project. So
Sir,
OTT,
even
the
the
moment,
recent,
yeah,
sir, even the recent web series like Hira Mandi
yeah,
is such a
Suman,
huge,
yeah,
thing.
Yeah, 200 CR. Like prior to that, like the highest budgeted web series was Sacred Games 2, which was 100
Hmm.
CR. So the moment like Sanjay Leela Bhansali came into picture, Netflix said, okay, budget is not concerned at all. You just go ahead and pick your artist. Okay. And yeah, it's like you say that way, 200 CR for a web
Sir,
series. Okay.
even the unemployed actors, like they
Mhm.
have actually revived their careers through OTT.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like you think about Arshad Warsi, okay, with Asur 2, uh, he hit it out of the park. But before that, like he was actually struggling to get good roles in commercial movies, and because OTT is very real, very raw.
Hmm.
So when I cast for OTT platforms, okay, directors are looking for artists who are more realistic. Their tone is more realistic. Their pitch is more realistic. The moment you cast for someone for a commercial movie, then the requirements of artists are different. Okay. So every different parts, every different spectrum of acting and category of acting, be it theater acting, be it commercial movie acting, or be it OTT. Every platform has its own niche, and you're required to understand the niche. If you are even casting, if you are acting, if you are a cinematographer, if you are a photographer, whoever, like if you are DOP, doesn't matter. You're required to understand the pitch of the platform. If you don't understand the pitch of the platform, you are not managing to do justice to that particular project. And that's is all about, the stories and the character and the platform. If you combine and make those things in a single sync, then you are managing to get a good project. And obviously after that, directors and actors, obviously performance will obviously make the last bit. But I'm talking about like pre-production. So in pre-production,
Correct.
those, yeah.
Sir, what advice would you like to give the young aspirants? Because many a times I have found like you have always been a guide to your students. Like just now you spoke about the pitch, about the toning, about the tonality of our communication. Besides communication skills, looks, what other things would you like to advise to young aspirants, be it before the camera or behind the lens?
See, first of all, I don't like to give advice, okay? Because if someone is not asking for advice, I don't give it because I find it very rude. But yes, if you ask me just in general, okay, I would say, see, in be it if you are going to give an audition or if you are just want to be successful in any field, not only acting, okay, I find there are five things, not in communication in general, but five things you require to hone, you require to polish the moment you're doing anything in life, okay, and it's including acting as well. So a lot of times, I think I have taken more than, I think, how many, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs auditions, okay. So when I find a new actor, okay, anyone, even a theater artist, whoever, okay, I tell them, you practice these five things. Rest will take care of it itself, and it won't be just taking care of you in terms of the auditioning or cracking audition. It will help you tremendously in your life, in any spectrum of life. So the first thing is, because what is audition? Audition is very, audition or acting, like it is a very visual medium, right? The visual as well as like say audio medium. So people are going to listen to you, people are going to see you. Okay. So there's no hiding. There's no hiding at all. You cannot hide. You can hide in different industries. Like say for example, I own two software companies. Okay.
Hmm.
So if a software, say a technician, okay, if they are just there, like people don't know them, if they are just doing the coding and if their coding is really great, they are okay. Nobody's going to come to them and say, okay, you are not good in communication. I mean, you are not presentable. Your
Hmm.
audio is not good. People won't be saying that because they are working behind the lenses, right? And that's like there's another question which you asked, like behind the lenses, like behind the lenses, they just required to be that good technically. Really, people don't care about how they look because they are working behind, right? So yeah, being presentable obviously help, but the five things you need to polish if you want to be successful in life, and that in any industry, okay, the first thing I will be suggesting, the rate of speech. It's really very important. You require to have variation in your rate of speech. So if you are giving an audition, and if you're reading a script, if I just keep on saying like, okay, I have completed BTech in Jadavpur, and after that I have done MBA in I am in Bangalore, and after that I have done this. The moment there's no pausing, there's no wave, there's nothing, it becomes very boring. So you require to manage your rate of speech. Now, say for example, if I go down, now if you are speaking fast, it's kind of like it shows that you are passionate about the subject. But say for example, if I just slow down my rate of speech and I don't say anything important at all, but I make it sound so profound. That's the beauty of rate of speech. The moment you slow things down, it gives those words which you are saying more
Correct.
importance than if you just
Correct.
increase your. So that's very important. So if you find a script, someone who is just giving an audition, okay, if you find that there's a particular line or there's a particular paragraph which requires a bit of importance, if you want to make those lines more profound, slow your rate of speech. So you need to know how to manipulate those rate of speech. So that's the first advice from my side to anyone who want to give audition or just want to probably reading a script for their next audition. The second is volume. Volume is very important. So if I generally break volume into 5 parts, okay, and most of us, they generally either probably at 1 or 2 or probably 5. So you need to understand the volume requires for a particular script. So if you find that particular script requires a little high volume, so you require to do that. Now, especially for girls, okay, and it happens for men as well as women, but I find female, because the society is such, we live in a society where if a girl is loud, okay, they are termed as rude, right? So it goes into the genetics of 90% of the females. The moment they come for the audition, even if it requires certain amount of volume, if they require to speak in say level 5 volume, they always do it at 2, 3 max. So I say, okay, why don't you just speak up a bit? But because it is now inbuilt into their genetics, the society has told all the females that you need to be polite, you just cannot be that loud. So that has gone into their DNA. So that takes a lot of time, because I conduct so many workshops, not only in India. Last year we have gone to New York Film School, okay, to give training and workshop. So, and even out there as well, same thing, because the moment a girl is loud, people call them a bitch, and that's in their DNA. So you require to practice like how to increase your volume if the script requires. For men, it's opposite, okay. Men generally, like 90% of people I take auditions, they lack in emotional scenes. Most of them. Obviously, there are exceptions and they are really great. But most of them, they lack in emotions. So you tell them, okay, you be emotional in this particular scene. Just show me a sad face. They just cannot do that. You ask a man to be sad, okay, just to give expression of sadness, they are out of their depth. You ask them to be like loud, you ask them to be okay, when you are going to fight with someone and they are very upbeat. The moment you say, okay, show me a bit of emotion, show me you are sad, show me you are crying, it's very difficult for them. Because again, the society, you know, we live in a society from our childhood. People say, men don't cry. You're required to be strong, right? So the moment you listen to all of those things throughout your life, then you portray strength by having a stoic face. So most of the men have very stoic face. They don't have any emotion going on. So it's very monotonous, expression.
Flat.
And a monotonous voice comes from a monotonous body gestures, and your face is one of the parts of your body, right? So you're required to have expressions on your face, and that's my third point, which is the expression. So you require to understand the expressions required for the script when you are giving an audition. So that's the third part. Okay. The fourth is pitch. What is pitch. So, Lovely, if I ask you, like, do you read books?
I love reading books.
Okay. Now you must be having one of your favorite books, right? Which you read a lot and probably which you have read a lot, right? So if I ask you that, okay, from that book, you read one page of the book without looking at it, you just, just recite it to me. Can you do that?
So right, I can.
You might can, but generally, like, if I just pick up one of your favorite book and say, okay, read this particular page of the book without looking at it, it's very difficult. Like, for 99% of people, they just cannot read it one by one, like, without missing a single word. It's just almost impossible for them. But in a song, everyone has their favorite songs, right? Now, from a song, if I ask you, okay, just go through the lyrics without missing a single word from the lyrics, okay? Most of us actually can do that, right? So, generally, a page of a book has a similar amount of words, okay, which a lyrics
Correct.
of a song has. Now, why we can do for a song, but we cannot do for a page of a book? Because songs have, or music has melody. So if your pitch has melody, if you are not going flat, if it has waves into it, then people will remember it for a longer period of time. So if you are giving an audition and you wanna crack the audition and you want the casting director, the directors to remember your audition for a longer period of time, because that's how you basically can do that, right? So the moment you manage to put a bit of melody into it while you are giving the audition or just even while speaking, it just creates the graph. Okay.
So
The roller coaster.
that was really deep. That
Yeah.
was really deep.
Yeah. So that's something, makes all the difference. Okay. And the
Exactly.
last is the fifth point, which I tell to all of my trainees, all of my candidates, just pause. Just pause. And
Take a breather.
take a breath. Let the listener time to consume what you have said. Just a pause. Cut down all the fillers. And instead of those fillers like those are like fillers which we use, just use pause. The moment you do that, not only in auditions but in real life, you become a better orator, become better communicator. And the reason I put a lot of importance into communication is because if you cannot communicate, because again it comes down to our education system, because from our childhood we are taught that, okay, if you want to be successful in your life, you require to have technical brilliance. Great. So you learn acting. If you want to be an actor, you learn all the technical skills, you learn all the acting job skills. Now as an actor you are 10 up here, okay, but if you can only communicate up to 2 here, so when someone is going to judge you or just want to see, okay, how good you are, whether will they be getting you as 10 or 2? They will be obviously be getting you at 2. So you are technically that brilliant in 10, but you can only communicate as per like level 2. So people will be judging you as level 2 only. So that's the reason I put a lot of importance in communication, because the moment you become a better communicator, then you become better in every field, every industry, and obviously in acting, because it's a visual medium, it's an audio medium, so you require to be a good communicator, and then only you will understand the script. Then only you'll, if you like, I've just told you, like, if you follow these 5 things which I told, and I tell it to all my candidates in our workshop training, this is the first thing I tell to all of them. You practice, you hone these 5 theories, you will become better, no matter what, whichever field. Even if you don't manage to crack in acting, even in any other field you go, if you want to be a lawyer, you can. That these 5 things required. If you want to be probably you have completed MBA and you have joined a corporate firm, you require that everywhere you go. And obviously in acting you require, because it's like I mentioned, I'm reiterating again, is a audio visual medium. So you require to have these five things polished before you give the auditions. Before you think about, okay, I mean, this is a big audition for me. Go technical. You go technical, but you require to have these five skills as well. So yeah,
Sir, thank you so much. That was all for us from our end, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast with us as well.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for having me, lovely. Okay, it was really nice sharing a bit of insights about the industry, as well as yeah, to be just a part of it. I really loved it on a Sunday evening. That was a nice thing as well. So yeah,
And so
thanks
this
to
was
you,
the
and you know.
first time.
Mhm.
This was the first time that I did a live on a Sunday evening. Otherwise, I always prefer the mornings. So yeah,
Oh,
thank you so much, sir.
thank to you. You know, thanks for having me here. Thanks for asking. You know I have how many times I have cancelled. I don't know, but yeah, for being that persistent throughout, it kudos to you. You know.
And before I say the final goodbye, I would like to tell all my viewers that Mr. Suman Sarkar actually helped me. Yeah, he gave me a call and exactly told me what should I do, how should I do to grow my followers, to grow my Insta page. And that was really very kind of you, because in my opinion, a true man, a true hero is the one who is actually secured in his position and let other people grow, empowers other people. So that was really kind of you, Mr. Sarkar.
Thanks. You just made me embarrassed, but yeah,
No, that was
thank,
not, that was really kind of you.
thank you, lovely. Okay, I hope you achieve whichever you want to achieve in life. But yes, always have different plans, plan A, plan B, because that's very
Exactly.
important. You know, because you hear a lot of time people that successful in IIT and all, just I'm talking about recent event, they are also, because of not having plan B is not a good thing. So always have plan B. Plan A is obviously there, but plan B required to have that. So yeah, that's my suggestion to any young people, not only successful or newcomers, but any young guy, any young girl, if they want to make anything in this industry or any other industry, if someone wants to do PhD, go to abroad, pursue their career, or acting. Okay, there are so many strugglers out there in Mumbai. Like only 1% get the fame, and 99% we
Exactly.
never cover their story. So I always ask them, have plan B. So that's my suggestion. People at times, like, in our position, in our field, say, okay, you don't drop academics, do acting. I never tell any of my candidates to do that. I say, okay, if your family is there and if they are supporting your education, do that. Why not? Because if you are not that passionate, because I understand by talking with someone, if they are that passionate about acting, if they don't want to do anything else apart from acting, separate issue. But if they just want to be in this glamour industry for the glamour of it and the blitz of it, I always tell them, have a plan B. Because without that, you never know. This industry is very volatile. Right? Even the very established stars are very insecure. So as a newcomer, you require to have a plan B. So that would be my final advice to anyone starting in this industry as an actor or as any professional in for this acting industry. Always have a plan B. That's very important in life.
Thank you so much, sir. Really grateful for you and
Oh,
your kind
thank,
advice.
thank
Thank you so, so much, sir.
yeah. Take care. Bye bye. Bye to all of your audience. Yeah. Bye.
Have a great evening, sir.
Yeah. Same to you. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Ciao. Mhm.
So yeah, Mr. Suman Sarkar was there with us. You can watch this edited version in the YouTube channel within a day or two. I'll be posting the links of the same on my Instagram story. And do let me know, did you like the episode? And if there are any questions still left to be asked with Mr. Sarkar, just ping me or just write down a comment in my inbox. Thank you so much.